morning, everybody. Welcome back to the Hold Fast podcast. Today we have Olivia Favero. Is that how you say it? Am I saying it
You
right?
got it. Yes,
Okay,
sir.
great. Former Miss Everything. We'll go through the list. It's not short, but we'll rattle off a few. And if you don't mind, I'll say a prayer real quick, and we'll get started, have a conversation.
Let's do it.
Father, thank you for this time together this morning, Lord God. We pray that we have a conversation that edifies one another and others, and that you just be with us here today. Again, to thank you for the breath in our lungs and the opportunity to sit here and have a conversation today, Lord. In Jesus' name, amen.
Man.
So, Olivia, you're a busy gal these days. Like I said, I can rattle off a bunch of titles. I think you started with Tomato Days, is that right? Was that your first title?
Yes, that was my very first one, and I just hit my 15-year anniversary. So their pageant is the first
Wow.
weekend of August, and I was just reminiscing and realized that this would be 15 years for me. So it's great to be Miss
Wow.
Rodeo America on that
Congratulations.
milestone.
That's awesome. You moved on from there. I mean, so I've got a whole bunch of them. Utah High School Rodeo. High School Rodeo is near and dear to my heart. We do a ton of youth in high school and OSET rodeo stuff, and so that's a really cool one. You've got Mountain Valley Stampede, you've got the Oakley Rodeo, you've got Ogden Pioneer Days, another big one. And so you know, this has been a part of your life for, like you said, 15 years, and so you're in a unique place to give us like some really deep insight into the world of rodeo pageantry and kind of what that's like. And so I just wanted to start off by asking you, I mean, the obvious question is what got you started back 15 years ago in August at Tomato Days?
Oh, it's been a long journey, you're right. I'm lucky that I've been able to do it all these years, but my love of horses is what got me interested in it at first. But rodeo queening is a small community that seems like if you're not part of it, then how do you get into it, right? And I would say by the grace of God, he placed the right people in my life so that I could do it. And one was a sweet lady who worked at a doctor's office as a receptionist, and I'd go to my mom's doctor's appointments with her. And I remember talking to this lady. She'd usually give me a piece of candy when I went with her. And so I was just little, I was 6 or 7 at the time. And she told me that her daughters were rodeo queens. And if I ever wanted to do anything like that, if I liked horses, then she'd love to help me. And so I talked my mom into it, talked my dad into it, and they helped me with everything with the horses, getting my horse ready. And then this friend, she just lived down the road, and they helped me practice the modeling and interview what I needed to know and talk about, and set me up with a cute pink outfit with stars on it. And it was just such a good experience. I remember being very prepared at that pageant. And I think that's why I've had so much success in my careers, because I started off prepared thanks to my parents and my supporters. And I've had that support ever since then to keep me going as a competitor.
Yeah, that's super important, I think, early on. I know that. I mean, people say the number one fear of everyone is public speaking, right? And
Yeah.
so, and in a position like yours, getting started speaking publicly early
Mhm.
on, I think is super important to get comfortable in front of people and crowds, and that whatever that ritual is or that preparation beforehand to take your notes or write out a speech or things like that, I think
Yeah.
is a really great, not only for pageanting, but I mean just life in general, I think is super important. So um that's cool. I've heard so many stories. I know tons of queens, obviously, and my business partner Josh, his two little daughters, they get autographs from all the queens at all the rodeo. And I mean, they're in a unique situation where the girls travel with him and he sets up his booth at rodeos, and that's what they do full time. And
Right.
so it's a unique situation for them to grow up in on the road at rodeos. And so it's going to be interesting to see what happens with those two. I think one of them's going to be a bull rider, probably, most likely. She's a little
Cool.
Spitfire. And then the older will be, will most likely be, hold several titles in her life. I'm sure of it. So, um, little fun fact. I don't know if anyone knows this about you. If they follow you, they do. But you ride dirt bikes, and I think that's
Yes.
super cool. I'm a
Thank
street
you.
bike guy. I would probably break my clavicle or something, I'm assuming, on a dirt bike. But how'd you get started in that? Is that like a long childhood hobby of yours too?
I've been on some motorized machine since I was just a young age too. We have a cabin in Bear Lake, Idaho, and when I think I was probably about 8 or 9, around the same time I started in the rodeo competitions. I remember taking a course online to get my ATV license, and me and my cousins all did it, and then we got to ride the mini four-wheelers that my grandpa had bought for us, and we'd go on trails in the mountains. So I started on four wheels, and then when I was about 12, I transitioned to a dirt bike. That's my dad's passion. He's had a bike since he could afford one in high school, and I always grew up riding with him on the front of the bike. And then when I was big enough and my little brothers were old enough to ride too, we all three got bikes. And so we've done that for quite a few years together now. And I don't ride a dirt bike as much as I ride horses. So it's something that when I get the chance to do it, I'm always really excited about it. But how cool that I've done it at a couple rodeos. I mean, most of my riding has been in the mountains, and that's beautiful and breathtaking. But um, the rodeo scene, to bring a dirt bike in there and the crowd hears the engine and the contestants aren't expecting to see Miss Rodeo America on a dirt bike. I mean, it draws attention and everyone's turning their heads to see. So it's fun to share that side of me because as a rodeo queen, you have a big position to represent rodeo and be Miss Rodeo America. But this year, I've really wanted to make sure that I don't lose sight of who Olivia is too.
Yeah, that's awesome. Keeping it gritty, I think, is a big part of rodeo queening versus, other pageants. And I think, no, I know you're the only queen I've seen ride into an arena on a dirt bike. I think it's super cool. So,
Thank you.
and then aside from that, 3 times you've been down to Vegas officially as I don't know what they call. I would guess it's flag girl, right?
Yes,
But that's
correct.
that's huge in itself. I mean, and this isn't just like on some flag team. This is the NFR flag
Right.
girls. Like that's major. So what got you into that? I mean, how do you even try out or qualify for something like that?
Yeah, right now the National Finals Rodeo Flag Girl team is all selected based on invitation from the director, Angie Burton. She was a past Miss Rodeo Utah and has been involved with the pageant since I started watching as a young girl. So Angie's a huge role model for me. And it was by mistake. Somebody had said they would go and they were signed up for it. And then in October before the finals 5 years ago, they reached out and said, I can't make it. You've got to fill my position. So she called me and said, hey, I know it's short notice and you've probably got a lot going on, but you've been invited to ride with the team. And how do you turn that down? So I
Yeah,
was so
right.
excited that I could finish my college classes 2 weeks early and go down to the finals and be part of that team. I think it gave me an advantage at the Miss Rodeo America pageant. I mean, that is so much experience and the contacts that I've met, the people who I've been able to work with at the finals. I mean, it's just something that nobody else at the Miss Rodeo America pageant could talk about. And I'm so lucky that I've been able to do it 3 times, not just once.
Yeah, I mean, that's kind of a big rodeo.
It is, yeah. And Miss Rodeo America, she's actually on the flag team. And so Miss Rodeo America, she'll ride in the grand entry in the crown and the sash, and then go to the locker room with the ladies, and she'll go in disguise, is what I like to say.
Yeah.
Not everybody knows that she rides with the team, and she'll ride in the same attire that the flag girls do. And so, how lucky am I to go back now as Miss Rodeo America? The past 3 years I did it, I was in charge of getting Miss Rodeo America's horse ready for grand entry. So I'd
Oh,
meet her at
cool.
the top of the alley and I'd say, here's your horse, ride him. I'll take him when you're done. And so I can't wait to see who I get to work with this year for that as well.
Yeah, that's going to be awesome. I mean, I guess, having so much queening under your belt, um, you've got some experience carrying flags, obviously.
Sure.
So I was looking through your page and I saw your platform for this year, which I really like.
Thank
Enjoy
you.
the ride. I think it's something, like in my faith journey, it's been something that I've had to remind myself quite often to just enjoy the ride.
Constantly.
I
Constantly.
put out a reel the other day just about slowing down. Um, and taking your time and being intentional in your life with the things that you do. And I think that's a huge part of my journey, just being able to take a step back, realize where I'm at, realize what, 15-year-old me would think of my life right now, right? And just go,
Right.
I'm super blessed. Let's just take a deep breath and enjoy where we're at right now. And I think it took me, it took me into my 30s probably to just be thankful for where I am right now and what I
Mhm.
have and be content. And I think that a lot of people kind of miss the point there when it comes to being content and being truly content with where you are, like I could die tomorrow and I'm okay with that.
Sure.
Doesn't mean I'm going to stop pushing for more, right? It doesn't mean that I'm
Right.
going to stop aspiring to be better and do bigger and better things in life, but still just to realize just how incredibly blessed we are every day and to just enjoy it, have a good time. I mean, we're only here once, and if you worry about everything, pretty soon you're going to look back and realize you missed all the good stuff. So, yeah, I love the platform.
Agreed.
So tell me how that came about and kind of what that means to you.
Oh, thank you. Like I said, I have been very prepared in the things that I've done. It's not something I sign up for and just go for it the next day. It's a lot of planning and preparation to get where I'm at. But my platform, I started to think about that because it used to be something that was more common with rodeo queens. It seemed like everyone had one. And then it kind of died out for a little bit, I think.
Hmm.
And people might have had a title, but then they didn't do anything with it. And you didn't hear about it throughout the years. So I knew that if I was going to have a platform, I wanted it to mean something so that I enjoyed talking about it and I wanted to continue it. And I came up with the title from Chris Ledoux's song, The Ride. And in that song, that's exactly what he talks about is what you said, slowing down and not being scared, going for bigger and better things. And when I heard the song, I thought I just listened to it on the radio one day. It came on my shuffle on Apple Music. And I thought, man, there's nothing better than that because there's so much good in the world, and if you go too fast you miss it, and the things that you're passionate about and the goals you set, you can't bank on it happening. You have to work for it. And so I've tried to incorporate all of that with enjoy the ride, and not only that part, but my dirt bike journey of I don't ride horses only, it's I ride dirt bikes too. And so whatever people's passions are, if it's sports or instruments or work or family, I think it can be more than one thing, but whatever you're passionate about, you can't forget to work hard at those things.
I agree, 100%. We are truly blessed in this life, far beyond what we deserve and what we recognize a lot of the times. And so I think that's really good. And I think it's great for upcoming queens too. I know that, like I said, I know a lot of queens and I know how stressful it can be and
Mhm.
overwhelming. And there's a lot going on. The rodeo road for any of us who, spend the majority of the season on the road from rodeo to rodeo. It's not all sunshine and roses. I mean, there's a lot of planning and a lot of
Sure.
driving and a lot of waiting and a lot, I mean, and it's hard work being on the rodeo road. And so, I think it's important for those girls, especially early on in their queening career, it's easy to get overwhelmed and
Mhm.
nervous and freaked out. And I mean, just learning how to schedule and coordinate your outfits and like it's a lot. Jump riding is probably super stressful too, and so yeah, I think it's just a great it's refreshing too because I've seen a lot of platforms that are, I mean, they're not negative or depressing, I would say, but I don't feel like that a lot of platforms these days are like this upbeat, kind of
Sure.
bright
Yeah.
feeling of like fun and you know what I mean? Not to say that they're not great. A lot of them address really serious issues and
Mhm.
and are, I think causes that are absolutely worthy. But it's cool to see one that's just more spunky and fun and like, let's have a good time. And so that's cool, especially at that level. I think it's great. Let's remind these younger girls, like, look, it's not all, it doesn't have to be all stressful. Like, let's get out here and let's
No.
just have a good time. So,
Since
um,
I was 8, my parents have said, if it's not fun, we're not doing this anymore. They don't ride horses, they don't rodeo. So their support was all because this is what I wanted to do. And so they would remind me of that. And then I had to remind myself too, right? Enjoy the ride and keep going at it if it's something that you love.
Yeah. Yeah. So let's expand on that a little bit. Are you first generation rodeo girl then?
Yes, my great grandpa and grandpa raised me with horses, and we have about 33 acres in Taylor, Utah, that we farm alfalfa and lease some ground for melons. And so I was always kind of involved with agriculture and horses and being outside, but the extent of my riding was in the barnyard, and I'd ride circles here and there. And then my very first competition was that rodeo queen pageant in Hooper, when I won when I was 8. And then after that, that's when I started the 4-H horse program and a junior riding group and high school rodeo when I was a sophomore. So we all had to learn as we went, but the reason I knew I wanted to do rodeo and be part of that was all from a family tradition of going to the Ogden Pioneer Days Rodeo on the 24th of July. That's Utah's statehood celebration day. And so they would do the rodeo halfway through. They'd have the Miss Rodeo Utah coronation. And that was my favorite event to go to all summer long. I looked forward to it. So my family, they've always liked to watch it and be spectators. They're rodeo fans. But yeah, I'm the only one who's taken life by the reins and started to ride and compete.
A little different behind the chutes, I think, huh?
Yeah, it is. It is. You learn so much. And I mean, even 15 years into it as Miss Rodeo America, I am always learning. And that's a part of the job that I love.
Yeah, the people of rodeo, I mean, over any other sport, there's just nothing like rodeo. And we're super passionate about first generation rodeo people in general and trying to create this atmosphere of openness for people like, you know, it's not this exclusive club. You can come, you're welcome. If you want to try to jump on a bull or something, there's places to learn, there's clinics. And
Sure.
so we're very inviting and very welcoming. And I've seen, so we work with a ton of kids. We've got our Hold Fast ministry is youth rodeo ministry. And so we're passionate about rodeo Bible camps and Bible rodeo skills clinics and things like that. And so we've got a ton of kids at high school rodeo and youth rodeo, and to see a lot of these first generation rodeo kids, their parents are putting them in rodeo because maybe they're having a hard time in school or
Yeah.
just don't click with other sports or with other people. And I've seen rodeo transform some of these troubled kids into super responsible, respectful adults, and it's cool to watch. And so we want to foster that as much as we can. Um, yeah, that's the plan anyway. We just got started with the ministry this I want to say May, I think, something like that, April, May, and got it all official. And so that's going to be coming really soon, and we're super excited about that. But
Congrats.
I've also seen in my time in rodeo kind of this evolution of the rodeo queen. And you being in it for 15 years, I'm sure that you've been able to see that too. Times change. It's still a very traditional role,
hmm
um, but it's different now than it was 15 years ago. And so, how have you seen that evolution, and where do you see that going in the future for rodeo queen pageants?
I really love the pageant side of everything. I think it's one of the sports that's left as our rodeo events that you compete by yourself. It's not really a team event, you know? I mean, it's all on you and it's a one-man band. So you compete and you do all this to represent yourself and then hopefully wear that crown and represent the title that includes it includes a lot of people under that crown, right? I mean, I'm
Yeah.
just a girl who gets to wear it, but I speak for a lot of people and represent many in the organization by doing so. And I think that pageantry, as well as pro rodeo and the youth rodeos, they're all growing. And so, like you said, we have to be willing to invite more people to come and not shut them out if they're first generation and they just want to learn. That's something to be really proud of us that people are interested in our sport and want to be part of it. Like you said, rodeo communities and the people involved are very different than most, and that's a good different. So I think that's why people want to be part of it is they just feel at home. It's so easy to get along with people at rodeos.
Yeah, it really is. I was accepted as well. My mom and my brother had horses growing up. My dad bred percherons growing up, and so I've been around horses most of my life. But early on, I was kind of the rebel, and I couldn't wait to get out of the country. I wanted to go to the big city so bad, and be a big city kid, and I did, and spent my time being an idiot, and came back to it. Praise God for that. Um, but just how welcomed back I was, and honestly, my testimony from my time in the city and gang life and drugs and some of the horrible things that I went through as a younger person have actually given me some insight, and I guess maybe not clout, but I guess respect in a way that I'm able to approach and relate to a ton of different people. I mean, in rodeo and
Right.
out of rodeo, and so I'm super thankful for all of that experience that I have. So now I have this testimony, and I can use that testimony to, talk kids off the ledge, or, relate to people who have addiction problems or things like that, and kind of try to bring them back into the fold, back towards Christ, and get them hopefully churched back up. Um, but I'm curious. So obviously, we're a faith-based organization and a faith-based podcast, and so I'm curious where your faith started, where it's at now, and kind of how that's helped you with some of the internal struggles that we all have through your career up until now.
Totally. My family's always raised me to believe in God and to pray and have a faith of my own and understand the Bible and read that. And so, as I've done so, I think as a kid, I mean, you don't always stay interested in that, right? It gets
Yeah.
boring. We don't see the benefits of it as a kid. And then when I started rodeoing and going on the road more, I would say, especially as Miss Rodeo Utah and this year as Miss Rodeo America, that faith of mine has grown so much, not just because of the experiences that I've had as Miss Rodeo America and I guess just the exposure, like you said, moving to the city, trying something new. I've been traveling all year and being by myself on the road is something that gives me a lot of time to think. And so
Mm.
I'll think about it a lot more and be more present to have time to say some prayers and keep us safe and let us enjoy this day and so all those things, but also hearing the stories of different people like yourself and cowboys and cowgirls that I get to travel with and different rodeo queens. It's cool to all come together and be connected by rodeo and by our faith of God and Christian beliefs and being good people and doing things to serve others. I think that's something that my grandpa's always prayed about is help us to serve others and to use our strength. And so I'm grateful that I have that faith base and can continue that and keep growing.
Nothing better, nothing more important in my book. So what are some of those? I mean, you're not always happy. None of us are.
Sure.
You
No.
don't have it all together. None of us do. And so, what are some of those internal struggles that you've had to work through throughout, not just pageanting, but in real life? And um, I find that a lot of queens have a very professional queen attitude, which is great.
Mhm.
Sometimes it's hard to turn off after a while. And sometimes it's hard to know who we really are inside if we have, queen mode turned on all the time. And so I'm curious if there's a struggle there, or if there's internal things that maybe you're not able to share because of your title, because of the public spotlight, that your faith has helped you through. Because I know a lot of these up and coming queens, you know, they they don't have a whole lot of support system when it
Sure.
comes to the very personal side of this thing.
Hmm.
And, the professional side, yeah, there's tons of people there to help them. Usually, most courts are pretty good. There's a few that, anyways, we won't even go there. Um, but yeah, how do you navigate that? And what are some of those things that maybe these younger girls will struggle with, that you can speak to help them through those times?
I mentioned trying to remember Olivia this year and not just Miss Rodeo America. It's those two
Mm,
are connected. And Miss Rodeo America is Olivia. Olivia is Miss Rodeo America. Um, it just goes both ways. But I think when I was preparing for this pageant, I knew that it would be a very public position. And so I did a lot of studying on the rule book and pro rodeo history and the cowboys and cowgirls. And I did a lot of studying on myself of why
mm,
do I want this job and what do I bring to the table? and how am I going to handle this year on the road? Because I'd followed Miss Rodeo America before for years, but you don't understand it until you're in it. So it's hard to prepare for that and really have that faith and the structure that you need to do it and serve a purpose this year. I think more than anything, I've wanted my impacts on those that I meet and the conversations to mean something and to be genuine because I do have the opportunity to meet so many people. So when some conversations can be superficial of where are you from and how'd you get into rodeo, I try and take that a little bit further and tell them more about Olivia and
Yeah.
what she really likes, and then get into their side of the story too. So it's something that I think as long as you're aware of it, of who you are and you understand what your values are, that's really easy to talk about.
I have that's I think that's super important, Olivia, and I think that um in the rodeo queen world, you have the highest position that anyone could ever have. And so for you to say that, I think is super impactful for these younger girls to realize that I can be myself
Yeah.
and be a queen at the same time. And I think not only that, but I also feel like being yourself is what puts you in that position, right?
Oh, 100%. I tell people I don't have time to fake it. I mean, I'm
Yeah.
not gonna put on a show at the pageant because you don't have time for that. You have to be yourself. And that's why I think it's important to study that and to know those values so that you have an answer of you and what you want to represent as you wear the crown.
Yeah, that's a great confidence booster for young girls to know that just be yourself. It's what you got you this far, you know. Don't be
Yeah.
afraid to just be you. That's what people love about you, you know. And
Hmm.
so, yeah, that's awesome. I was also just looking too, just to shift gears a little bit, and saying prayers for your state of Utah is on fire, like Oregon is on fire right now.
Hmm.
It's been a super scary season, but I was just watching this morning, right before our interview, some of the fires in Utah, because it's obviously the one thing on everybody's lips over here in Oregon, as we had a record-breaking fire season. But yeah, prayers go out to all those guys fighting over in Utah too. I didn't realize that it was so bad in Utah right now, but
Yeah.
apparently it's getting pretty nasty over there too. So, how often are you back home? I mean, I know you're probably rodeo to rodeo every weekend like I am. It just doesn't stop until late November, December. But how often are you able to get back home, and see your people? I mean, probably not very often, right?
No, I think I've counted it up, and some of these days that I included in my count were travel days. So it was not getting home till later in the evening, but I still feel like I could count it. I think I've been home probably closer to 30 days now. Last time I counted it was 26. And so the first 3 months of the year I was on the road, came home for a little bit in April, May, June, and July. I was pretty much on the road again. So most of my time home is about 20 hours, maybe 2 days if I have that grace, but it's coming home to unpack and pack my bags again to go back out on the road. So I definitely soaked up my time when I do get to come home and be with my family and my friends here because I was with them so much before, and going on the road, that's who you miss the most for sure.
Yeah, 100%. Come home, do laundry, refill the trailer with food, kick some tires, and then back out. I'm lucky. I'm home for 10 days right now, which is
Oh,
shocking to me. I'm not sure what to do with myself. But it's been really
enjoy
nice.
it.
Yeah, I am. I'm getting to have a conversation with you. I got some yard work stuff done. Uh, Working on the wife's truck. I mean, usually it's fun if I'm doing something cool to it, but I'm not. It's a tune-up, so that's not fun. And then super random fact, I mean, out of all the episodes we've done, I don't think anyone knows this. But I'm building a lowrider bicycle. I grew up
Oh, wow.
yeah, I grew up around a lot of lowriders and in a very Latino neighborhood when I was younger. So a lot of gangbangers and lowriders and stuff. But I always loved lowrider bicycles. It's just a fun fact about me. I didn't have a driver's license, and all the older homies had Impalas and Cadillacs on wire wheels, and I fell in love with them, but I couldn't drive and I couldn't afford a car, so I dove into lowrider bikes. And I was in, oh man, where was I at? I don't even know. On the road somewhere, and was looking through Facebook Marketplace, and I saw just this old beat up lowrider bike, and I thought, you know what, it'd be fun to just tinker on one of those again. So I called my son. I said, "Hey, will you run over here to such and such and pick this up for me if I Venmo the guy?" And so he did, and that's what I've been doing my time home right now. It's
Oh, that's
super
great.
random, but yeah, it's been really fun. So, what's next for you? I know you've probably got a few big ones between now and the end of the season. But what's the next few coming up for you?
I'm going to Logan, Utah's rodeo this week, and then I'll go to Caldwell, Idaho in August and
Hmm.
spend a few weeks in Washington at Kennewick, Walla Walla, and
Oh,
Ellensburg.
dang it, I'm missing Kennewick and Ellensburg this year. I
Oh,
usually do them every year, but I'm not this year. What about Pendleton though?
I do get to go to Pendleton as well. That's on my
Okay,
schedule,
then
and
I will see
I'm
you
excited
there.
to do that. We'll see you there. That sounds great.
It's
So
it's a great rodeo.
it is. I love the tradition there. I
Yeah.
mean, they do things like they did when they first started 120 years ago, and it's a great rodeo. So I'm looking forward to all those. There's some that I got to do last year. I've been back. Pendleton will be one of those. And then those new rodeos that I haven't done before, and I meet new people. Um, there's just something special about both sides of that.
That's cool. So when you get to Horse Heaven, you see the Horse Heaven merchandise, just know that we made it all. So, um,
Oh,
yeah, this
great
week
to
we'll
know.
start filling that order, and yeah, we've done all the merch this year for Kennewick, and then
Cool.
Ellensburg. Have you been to Ellensburg before?
No, never been.
Oh, such a cool rodeo. I mean, I would say cool little rodeo. It's not exactly little, but by the entrance, they have it's like a facade of an old Western town with their little shops and their little coffee shop and it's super cool. But I guess they just rebuilt a bunch of stuff this season, and so it'd be interesting to come back there. The bummer for us as vendors is we're butted right up against the fence to the horse track, and they
Mhm.
spray it every day with the water truck,
Oh,
and the water just blasts the back of our booth. So you have to know before you go as a vendor to tarp it off and set up in a way where you don't get drowned out of there. But super cool rodeo. And then last year we had Callie come by the booth at Pendleton. We're
mhm.
down there on the west entrance in the parking lot of Dairy Queen.
Oh, okay.
And she came
Sure.
by and she signed some autographs and hung out. And so you're more than welcome to swing by and sign some autographs. Matt Merritt will probably be by the booth again this year too. We love that guy. He's a
He's
nut,
awesome.
but yeah, he's great. We hang out with him whenever we can. We were just with him in Nampa for Snake River. So that was fun.
Very cool.
Um, so yeah, you're cordially invited to come swing by the booth and hang out for a little bit or sign autographs or whatever. Um,
Thank you.
but I want to give you the floor here, and anything that I missed on or anything that you want people to know or any advice that you have for up and coming queens or just anyone, take it away. The floor is yours.
Oh, well, thank you. This has been a great talk, and I love what you do and giving people the opportunity to share their story as well as sharing yours to inspire other people and build that connection. I think, like I mentioned earlier, that superficial conversation of just the easy questions, right? That's fun and it kills time, but what's meaningful is to connect with others and to
Yeah.
actually get to know them. So I think anybody, whether you're rodeo or not, if you're in the pageants or not, taking the time to slow down and really get to know those people that you get to work with is what makes all the difference in it. This year would mean nothing to me if I didn't have people around me. So really lucky to be blessed by everyone's stories and keep being inspired by their journeys.
Oh, well, I appreciate your time. Thank you for the kind words. You've been a blessing to us today, and I'm praying for your safety and for you to just soak it all in and enjoy the ride,
Thank
on the
you.
road. No crazy jump riding incidents, no, travel mishaps. I'm still waiting on the first flat tire.
Oh,
thank you, Lord. But it's coming, I'm
yes.
sure. Just not yet. Not this season. Let's just save that for next year. Okay.
You're
I
close to the
don't.
end of this season.
Yeah,
Yeah.
we're pretty close. We'll do Canby's another cool one. If you ever got a chance to go to Canby, I would do that one too. And
I've heard
I'm
great
kind of a
things
small
there.
rodeo guy though, you know. I know that like the money is at the bigger rodeos, but like my favorite rodeo of all time is Spray, and it's in the middle of nowhere, Oregon. It's in a high school football field. It's an NPRA,
Oh,
and
cool.
there's nowhere to stay. There's no hotels, so you have to camp or sleep on the ground by the river or something. And I mean, thousands of people come to this thing, and it's just the coolest little rodeo. We have a great cowboy church there. That's something that we're starting to do more of is cowboy church too. So if you get a chance to come to Spray, Oregon, how
I'll
about
add
this?
them to
I'll
my
see you
list.
there next year. No.
You got it. I have
Yeah,
a
add it
list
to your
of
list.
this list is the rodeos that I've always wanted to go to and still didn't get the chance to do it yet after
Yeah.
all these years of being involved as a rodeo queen. So I've got a tour of some travel to do and be a tourist and enjoy those in the stands next year.
Well, we'll save you a spot to park a camper and you
Thank
come out to
you.
Spray and hang out. So, yeah, well, I appreciate your time, Olivia, and couldn't have a better gal in your position this season. Congratulations, and just looking forward to seeing you spread that message for the rest of the year and see what you can do. See what's coming up for you after that. I hope we get a chance to see you out there on the road. And like I said, Pendleton will be there, and hopefully we can shake some babies and kiss some hands out there at Pendleton. So,
Let's do
thanks
it.
for coming on, and I appreciate your time, and I'll see you soon, I hope.
Thanks for having me, and we'll see you down the road.
All right, appreciate you. Bye, Olivia.
Bye.